The major
what?
mistakes we've done.
14, 15 major fuck-ups that we have done so far. Welcome to the Zen Properties podcast, a podcast about building long-term wealth and cash-flowing businesses through real estate. Dive into interviews with industry legends, content packed with actionable tips and relaxed banter. We are Mac and Maggie Daring. Please enjoy the show. Hi guys, what's up? This is Mac and Maggie from Zen Properties podcast, recording from beautiful Poland. We are in Sława at our favorite lake and in our mobile office.
Hi there.
Hello. How are you doing, Maggie?
Yeah, great today. Look where we are. It's amazing.
Absolutely smashing, isn't it? Alrighty, so for those who are tuning in for the first time, we are Mac and Maggie Daring from Zen Properties. We are developers, property investors, and we have this little lovely podcast for you.
Yeah, and we run Rent to SA as well.
And Buy to SA as well. So it's all things properties. But where we are today is we have 6 assets, roughly 0.6 million in own equity, and our business is turnover more than £1 million a year. Okay, and that's just the beginning. So, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning back in. You can listen to us on all the major platforms, on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, everywhere, and also on YouTube as well. And we are posting it to all social platforms. And you can tune in on www.zenproperties.uk. Alrighty, so today we will be talking about, I don't know how many, like 14, 15.
The major
what?
mistakes we've done.
14, 15 major fuck-ups that we have done so far in our businesses. So we would like you to not do the same mistakes as we have done through our career, because they are easily avoidable.
I'm not sure it's very easily, but if you're aware of them, for sure, you can avoid them. So
we would recommend avoiding those mistakes because they were very costly to us. So one of our most costly mistakes was some problems with VAT, as far as I recall.
Right, so that's where it kind of all started. So basically, we've built our business quite rapidly. We started from Rent to SA, so that was one company, and we were very happy there.
We actually started with Buy to Let, and we've sold one.
We did Buy to Let, and that's where we kind of got into a little bit of a mismatch, haven't we? So we purchased Buy to Let into one limited company, and then we decided to go Rent to SA, and because we didn't really have any other companies, right? We thought, it's easy, let's just dump everything into that one company. So that was our first mistake. So please do not mix up different trades. Do not mix up your assets, your property assets, with some other trading. I think even at one point you did some IT training, right? Within the same company, and I was like, what have you just done? I wasn't aware of it. But we kind of corrected this through through accounting, but you cannot really correct it when you continue trading and then you have your asset within first, like your limited company. Okay, so don't do this.
Why? Why can't I have assets and trading businesses?
So you need to protect your assets, right? If your trade gets into trouble and your property, your asset is within the same limited company, you're not protected. They can go after your asset. So then you have to sell it and then give the money back to your debtor. So that's why you cannot really do that. Please don't. Separate your assets from your different trades. So you've got high risk activities separated out, and you've got your assets separated out, and different types of trades separated out. Obviously, depending on your type of business, what you want to do, because you might just decide to do HMOs, right? Or just Rent to SA, then that's easy. You just have one limited company. If you want to do
both are considered to be residential, and you do not VAT register to run this business with HMOs and residential units in it.
That's correct. So a different treatment of tax follows, and that is an additional reason why you should separate out your trading activities and your assets, etc. into different limited companies.
So now practically, how do we structure that? So we have multiple companies. So let's say for the development purposes, we have Zen Equity Limited, and that's VAT registered, right? That's our development company.
Correct.
And that's where we purchase asset through. That's where we develop those assets, and then through the holding company, we change the ownership to Zen Propco Limited. And this is a residential company, non-VAT registered. So all the flats that we are creating, and all the HMO rooms that we are creating, they are sitting in Zen Propco. That is non-VAT
That's correct,
registered.
and that's how we separated those assets, right? The reason why we do it this way, because we actually have it under holding, but if you only do this, you could have it on its own, like standalone development company and then residential, right? The reason why we actually do it is because we would like to get the VAT that we pay on commercial asset back. That's why we do it. We know we can do it now. We've had quite a costly advice from a VAT specialist, and that's why we know this setup works for only for commercial purchase, right? When you convert the commercial unit into residential after the renovation is done.
So let's stop there for a second, because it's a very interesting topic. So for converting residential units or mixed use units, any units with a part commercial, they are treated as commercial. So you buy them cheap, like stamp duty is cheap and stuff like this. But then you purchase them through VAT registered company. You develop it, you get all the VAT back. By the way, when you are doing conversions, you are eligible for 5% VAT instead of 20%
Correct.
VAT, especially if the properties were not inhabited for the last whatever how many years. Like when you purchase an office, it needs to be 2 years, I think.
2 years, yeah.
Okay, so 5% on VAT, and then we move it to a non-VAT registered company. That's for development. How about if you do like a commercial to residential development or mixed use to residential development? How about if you do buy to SA, for example? So we purchase a residential asset and it stays residential.
Right, so if that's the case, and that is the newest thing we've just done, if that's the case, the biggest difference is it's residential, it's not commercial, right? Hence, this scenario we've just explained doesn't apply. So you can't just ask for a refund on the basis of 0 rated tax, but that's perhaps too more technical. So when you purchase residential property, you basically have to pay, you have to suck that VAT in, right?
Suck it up, bottle cap.
That 5% on eligible services, most of them are eligible. There will be some exceptions.
If it was uninhabited.
If it was uninhabited, correct. To do that's a separate process, but that's quite easy to get 5%. There isn't like a formal process around it. You just need to have the evidence that the property has been uninhabitable, and you get a letter normally from the council, because that's to do with not paying council tax, right, or something with the council. So that's one thing. But also, the reason why you're not eligible is because after renovation, right, you've got your unit ready. You can now rent out your unit on booking.com and Airbnb, and that's when you that's not, hang on, that's vatable.
Yeah.
Right, and in that case, you should be able to get the VAT back, because you've got a vatable service, within that sequence, let's say, right? So that's when you can, but we cannot do that because we would have gone over VAT threshold way too quickly, and we don't want to do that.
With a single unit.
So we have got a different setup. We've got our corporate structure is set up in a way that we use a managing agent, and that's a completely different story, right? With the managing agent, we've pay the rent to the managing agent, and managing agent would then
is that
go
the way
into
around?
the market.
The managing agent pays us rent.
Oh, correct. Yeah, sorry.
So our company gets a property rent to say from a landlord, and then we have a corporate management agreement between us and the landlord, and then we have an AST, which is it
Yeah,
isn't
we've got
really
a
like
residential commercial agreement signed between.
it is still a commercial agreement, right? Like
Yes, but
between the
it's
management
residential,
and us.
and the key is that we are renting out our ready, fully furnished unit to the managing agent, and the managing agent is responsible for advertising and getting all the clients for us, and that's what they will do. But because of that setup, we are basically exempt from VAT registration on the basis that it's under the residential agreement, right? Because it's not a VATable service.
Not for us. The managing agent pays VAT, but the margin is not as high as
Correct.
ours. So
Yeah.
it will be a while. Like I would estimate, like they will have to manage like 30, 40 properties before they hit the VAT registration threshold.
Yes, and because of that, because residential agreement is not VATable, for that VAT to be refunded, we need to have a VATable service at the end of it, right? And because there isn't, in our current setup, we cannot get that VAT back on renovation. Now, I've just asked my VAT specialist, how about our intention was to use that buy-to-let and to rent it out through the same buy-to-let company, that would be VATable, and because that would be VATable, we would be able to get the VAT back on renovation. I hope it makes sense, right? Because there is a VATable service.
I hope so. I hope it does, because it's magic for me.
So basically, if the end goal is not VATable, exempt from VAT, you don't have to register it, it means you cannot really recoup the VAT because there's no mechanism to use. But if the end goal is to rent it out on a VATable basis, then you need to register, then you've got a mechanism to get the VAT back because you need to file a VAT return. So now it should make sense, right?
And I think there are like two more questions that we need to answer.
But then listen. So I said to my VAT specialist, how about if our end goal, our initial intention was to actually rent it out, right? Through the same company for a few months. How about if we do it for 2 months or 3 months? Would that be acceptable? And then we change our mind after that. But then he said at this point, it should really be 12 months for HMRC to accept it. So that's where we are at the moment. I think we will have to end up and actually pay and never recoup that 5% back.
It is what it is.
Unless your margins, but then unless your rent is really, your profits from SA are really low and you can stay under VAT during the 12 months, good for you. And then you can get the 5% back on VAT on renovation.
Yeah.
But this is where I think this is so important to know. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I wanted to ask something. Okay. So we purchased the Buy2SA, our first Cotswolds big ass asset, through a single company, right?
Correct.
That is not VAT registered company. Would we have done something differently next time when we purchase the Buy2SA asset?
Not really, because again, it's the intention. What do you need this house for? And is it VATable and is it not? If it's going to be VATable in the end, then yes, you'll have.
So basically, for as long as your contractors are charging you VAT, whatever it is, 5%, 20%, hopefully it's 5%, then you have to pay the VAT, and there is nothing else you can do. You just pay it and move on.
Just hope it's going to be 5%, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the good practice here would be to purchase assets for, if you want to purchase assets, Buy2SA residential to residential run as holiday let, only buy assets that are eligible for 5%, because 15% is a lot of VAT, like 15% difference. It's a lot.
I would say so.
I would say like, the VAT would take the entire freaking contingency, right? And it takes the juice out of the project to the point where it's no longer viable.
Yeah.
In most cases, okay?
Yeah.
Because like residential to residential conversion, it's not really a conversion, it's a renovation, and the value that you add is not as hefty as the value that you add through commercial or mixed use to residential conversion. So the second you have planning for converting commercial or mixed use to residential, you've already added fuckloads of value, but you don't have this uplift when creating a hotel, basically, or like a holiday let from a residential property. So be careful there, right?
Right. So just going back to the very beginning in terms of the org structure, think about the service you do and then create a limited company for that. If there is anything else you do that includes assets, separate this out, right? If you've got just one company or two, it's fine. But then if you start creating or change your mind then you need more limited companies, then think about perhaps a holding company, right?
True.
Holding company has got a lot of benefits, but then you have to weigh things up because it's going to be quite expensive to create a holding company through accountants. Now, find the right one just so they don't rip you off, because they say it's
Do they exist?
so many things. I hope so, but
So far, every single company, they try to intimidate us, so
Yeah.
we feel like it's so overcomplicated and difficult, and then they ask for unreal charges,
I feel like
even though it's not
thousands
that
of
much
pounds.
complicated, right?
Yes, but then do that. You just need to weigh things up, because the benefits are really like they're it's what you need basically. If you've got way too many, also if you've got JV, if you're planning JVs or if you're planning different projects, you can always you can always use the benefits of the holding company.
It's like
These
more
benefits-
flexibility
Yeah.
in how you treat tax.
Correct. So you've got. I think the most important thing is that you've got the asset protection and protection of. You can separate out everything, and if one branch goes busted, you just cross it out, and then it doesn't impact the rest of your business. If you've got JV
Exactly.
or in individual project.
So it's great for SPVs as well, right?
Exactly. So, and also you can move the profits around. You use your holding company as a sort of intermediary. It doesn't trade itself, but you can move your profits up tax-free. You can offset your losses against your companies, and that's really helpful as well. But that asset protection for me is the biggest
Asset protection. Yeah.
benefit.
Have you seen what I've been doing when you were talking? I was using the reflection from the sun from my
Have
watch,
you?
and I was burning some flies. So they're attracted to the white hull of my boat, and they like to sit in the shade, and I was just giving them sun, and they go crazy. Alrighty, so let's not spend too much time on this one,
Yeah.
because we will still have a dedicated episode for the corporate structure. So what is the second fuck up on our list is that we've spent too much time and effort on rent to SA. I feel quite strongly about it now. So it has been like, what, 3 years since we've started working in rent to SA business. We are very successful. It's fine. It's a cash cow. It works, but it's very stressful. It's extremely hard when it comes to your time on operations.
Ad hoc.
It's
Yeah.
ad hoc as well. So you want to go biking with your family, and then you have guests with a broken hot tub asking for partial refund or for help, and then something else happens.
It's just constant.
It's constant, and it's especially heavy during weekends where you want to have some time off with your family, and bank holidays, Christmas,
Yeah, Christmas.
New Year's Eve.
You have no vacation, like
Yeah.
no mental break whatsoever.
Yeah, so like first thing you do when you wake up is you check your phone if you don't have any problems with the guests. Last thing you do before going to bed is to check if you don't have any problems with your guests, and it never stops. Okay,
Yeah,
so
like
you,
first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
first thing before the bed.
exactly,
time.
and of course, like we've outsourced most of the property management now, but it still doesn't mean that we are not involved. We are still very much involved. There are some things that property manager will not have authority to do on their own, and it will still circle back to us to make a decision and to do something about it. So yeah, I feel like we should have spent our time on building relationships with people, right? With having more investors, starting a podcast maybe a little bit faster, writing more, maybe doing some small development projects,
Yeah.
and then scale up that way. Because truth to be told, with like 2-3 rent to SA units, when you are still employed like I was, it was possible to do small developments like we've done in Mosley. Instead of like launching 5 more rent to SAs, we could do
Yeah.
another Mosley.
So what-
Mosley was like
yeah.
3 flats conversion.
So I would say the lesson there, not put all your effort into rent to SA, because the market is so unstable now. Things changed.
And that
If
too.
you watch some other people's videos from like a year ago, it's not applicable anymore because it's moving so fast. Council tax apply, double council tax bill at the moment.
For
and you
your
cannot
secondary
really,
properties, right? That are not your home.
So basically for all your SAs, they can just hit you with this. And we found that they've already applied this to our 2 properties in London. You cannot really do anything about it, right?
Oh no, because in London you want to
shouldn't.
stay under the radar, right? Because of the 90 days rule. So you have a mixture, like, you know, of Airbnb, Booking.com, direct bookings, 30 plus days bookings. 30 plus days bookings, they don't count towards the 90 days rule. 90 days rule say that you cannot rent out the holiday let, short stay service accommodation for more than 90 days a year in London, okay? So you cannot apply for business rate. You can apply for a license to operate it as a holiday let, but you will never get it in London. It's residential properties protection. So you have to stay under the radar. So you have to be on the council tax and not on the business rate. And now they started doubling our council taxes in London, and we cannot convert them to business rate because this will like trigger the questions from the council, like, are you operating as holiday let? Do you want to apply for a license? And then you'll have to be like proving to them it's not operated by more than 90 days a year, and it becomes major pain in the ass.
So it's just to prove to you guys that it's just so many blockages now, and it's just so many challenges really. And we've put all our effort into rent to SA, all our eggs in one basket really, to begin with. But at the same time, we could have really invested that, at least some of that time, towards something more stable and more predictable.
100%.
And less stressful. And that's the key.
But we are doing that now. Instead of like launching, we're crazy. Like last year, we were launching every 3 weeks, okay? Like a high-end asset every 3 weeks. That was relentless.
Yeah,
that was relentless.
correct.
That's way too much.
So,
it takes like a full 3 weeks focus, like, you know, 16 hours a day work to create a purchasing list, design for contractors, settle on a design, visit the site with contractors like twice or 3 times to even know what you want to do, the scope of the renovation, get the quotes, the money in place. It's 3 weeks all the time for 3 people.
Yes, and it's not yours. And then we found that these days landlords, they really take advantage of the contract. Sometimes they don't even respect the contract.
No.
They ask for rent increases that are not reasonable, and to begin with they got a really good deal anyway. So, and it's not yours, so they can just say, you know what, you don't want to give me that increase, then sod it.
So
we are
that's
going
why
to give it to someone else.
That's why I think we should have focused on development now. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next point, because we are on point number 3. We have like 12 to go.
Yeah.
We have underestimated development time on our first conversion. I wouldn't say like a big time, but yes, big time. So your builders, they are very optimistic typically. They want to finish fast. They want to get their money out of the project, finished project. So they will, like, in their heads, it's going to happen in 5 months. So that's what we said. We had 5 months since the beginning of the works, and we overrun by 3 months. So it took 8 months in development instead of 5. So that's a big difference. It will be even close to 9.
So life happens, right? All sorts of like odd things happen. One of our contractors lost the driving license. The other one had some personal stuff going on. So I think it's important to have a backup as well, right? We're working on it. It's not easy to find good contractors.
No, but also like think what the lost time in the development does to your bottom line. So we've lost 4 months, no biggie, okay? It's just 4 months of our lives. We can survive that. But then you're sitting on expensive development finance from private investors or from bridging loan providers, and it's anywhere between 11 to even like 15-16% ish per year from the money that you borrowed. It's a lot of money. So for the conversion project, we're losing like £4,000 a month for interest only, just for interest. So it's £16,000 over 3 months. Then you have revenue lost. It's £3,000 a month of revenue not generated from our assets. Times 4 is another 12k. So it's like you're looking at 20k, 28k lost already. And then you have service charges. Service charges, they got up by 200% within 12 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is fucking crazy. Okay, so the service charge eats up into our bottom line so much. Like 30% revenue is lost to service charge. It's annoying.
Exactly, and they kind of messed about with us. So before we finalised the purchase, they said, "Oh, it's not going to be more than like £200." And I asked for the previous sort of estimations of the previous last years at the time, and they said, "Yeah, 200 quid." And then as soon as we purchased, they said £350.
Yeah, something like close to 400 a month now. Yeah.
So what would you do?
Yeah.
Would you buy it? Would you not buy it? First time for us. We didn't know that it could even be possible.
There was no cap, right? So they can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want.
They're a bit cheeky, so.
Yeah, and also what we are not doing, we are not staying on top of the development plan with our contractors, right? So you have your JCP, JCT, whatever it's called. You have the contract with your builders, okay? It's buttoned up, it's amazing, and then run over, right? So you have missed your deadlines like 10 times. It's 4 months later.
But
Who pays
why
for
did
this,
you
right?
miss it? Why did we do
Yeah,
it, right?
was it avoidable? Like, do I care about the contractors losing the driving license? Do I care about the wedding? So personally, I do, because we like each other. They are fantastic guys, but it affects my business so much.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter. So either they should organize a contingency or I should organize a contingency,
Yes.
and they should pay for it. Okay,
So what's
that's
the lesson learned?
the lesson learned is like stay on top of the contract. When you have a delay to your target deadline, have it annexed in your contract in writing with your contractors. If it's something that is unexpected, it happens. Like, you open up the wall and then you have like extra week of work. Add this extra week to the moving deadline, because there is nothing you can do. It's not their fault. It is what it is. You have to add extra week. But if you've lost your driving license to your main contractor and you can't drive to the site and you have to like organize your help every single day, and you can't work long days because of your driver has to go back home to their family, it's like, I shouldn't be paying for that, right? I shouldn't be paying for that.
What was the
And then
solution?
you should have a clauses in the contract saying, like, if you have something that was avoidable or something that is not your fault as an investor, then the contractor should be responsible financially for that, and you should explicitly specify how much money they will be owning you for every week or every month of added delay to a project completion, if it was their fault. Okay.
But also become a project manager, even if you've got one, kind of, who's the main contractor there and who's kind of managing it, everything. Become one and go to the site, building site every week, I would say, and just monitor it.
And guys, you know what? I have like a fantastic spreadsheet where we have like 50 steps that are required to finish the development. It's very buttoned up. I can share the spreadsheet with you if you want to, so hit me up if you want that spreadsheet. That's not a problem. Open book. Alrighty, next one, number 4, underestimated contingency. Who talks about it?
So we've underestimated contingency, which initially for us was 10% on materials, right?
On everything. It was 10% on the entire development cost.
Yeah, but materials got like the prices have gone up, right?
So much.
So significantly. Why? Because of all the delays Mac has just talked about.
Yeah. If we finish on time, like after 5 months, maybe the material cost would have gone up by like 6%, let's say, okay?
Yeah.
But then 4 months later, the material costs have gone up by 10%.
Again, that wasn't our fault, but
No.
in that case, we had to just get
Yeah.
the hit. Also, the extras. Quite a few extras were not included.
Yeah, a lot of like plumbing things that were extra, like trespassing pipes from the neighbors, like extra pipes, moving pipes around. The layout changed a little bit. Again, not my fault.
Yeah, but
like
the next time we're going to be aware of it, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
All
100%.
the extras and everything.
Yeah.
So we know what to look for in the actual spec.
Yep. But like the extras were roughly 10% of the development cost.
Right.
And the material rise was 10%.
Right.
So both together was roughly 20% on top of what we expected. And our contingency budget was 10%.
Right. And so the lesson learned, at least 20% of contingency, it's what you need.
Correct. And the smaller the project, the higher the contingency. Okay. So 20% is for bigger projects. I would keep 20%.
Yeah.
But for a smaller project like Mosley, I'll probably keep even 25.
Right,
No.
so the next one, first planning applications should be buttoned up as much as possible. For us, it was a missing parking beat survey. It has cost us, 2 months delayed. On the last day of the application, the council has come back to us and said, by the way, the parking bit survey has not been included. We cannot progress. And that was the last day. They didn't expect.
Yeah, last day 56 days window for prior
They didn't
approval.
expect the extension.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was possible. They were not very cooperative
No.
for us. We're not very lucky in that respect.
Yeah, Kettering Council was the worst.
Yeah, so we had to redo the whole application, so we know every time this is the first thing we do, and also the fire strategy. Again, that's needed. Do it from day one.
So we've done the fire strategy ourselves between us and our planning consultant, architect. It wasn't enough. It has to be done by a certified fire consultant. So that's the lesson learned there. And also with the parking beat survey, it's not as simple because like the council can come back to you saying that the parking beat survey must be done during school holidays or after school holidays. You can't do it today, you have to do it 2 months later.
Yeah, right.
So actually we've lost like 4 months and not just 2.
Yeah, that is true.
Because we had to retract, actually our
They had to
application
pick a
was...
date in the calendar.
Our application was declined and then we had to wait for the parking beat survey day
Yeah.
and then we had to have results until we applied the
Yeah,
prior
so
approval
4
application.
months extra.
Yeah.
On top of any delays we've had with contractors.
Oh my God,
right?
yeah. And then the purchase took forever because it wasn't an auction purchase. It was just a normal purchase, and the purchase took us 4 months as well.
Correct.
And then the first strategy was HMO, 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom HMO, and the layout was amazing. We've done like the layouts, we've done the drawings with architects. It was great, but we had so much pushback. The neighbours, they would be like on us all the time, so we just thought it's not worth the fight, because the secondary strategy was almost as good. The free flats was almost as good. Okay, next one.
Next one. We've paid a lot for mentoring. I don't even want to say how much. A lot. How much was it?
Yeah.
17k was it?
Something like that.
It's
18,
stupid
I think.
money for mentoring. Obviously, we didn't know where to start, so we kind of thought, oh, well, you know, if we pay a lot, the quality is going to be amazing. It wasn't the case for us.
We had 20 minutes slot once a month for
so
mentoring.
the mentoring just didn't have any
20
sense.
fucking minutes once a month for £9,000.
How? And they were not prepared.
No.
They asked for the whole business plan. They didn't even read it beforehand.
No.
Anyway, let's not go into the detail there. It wasn't worth it. The courses were worth it. We would recommend them.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just make sure, the lesson there, make sure that if you get mentoring, make sure that it's a quality one. Don't go for the big mentoring companies that they are basically, you know, create a big production line. Always check how much time you've got with the mentor. And yeah, just choose wisely.
Yeah, you need to know and respect your mentor as well. Then it's so much easier to work with people like
it
that.
has to be very personal, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure you get someone who really does it because they enjoy helping.
Yep. Okay, so that was fuck up number, like whatever. Another fuck up is the leasehold situation. So guys, like look what happened. We purchased the Mosley office, and office was a single leasehold, right? Like naturally, one office, one leasehold, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But then what we're doing, we are converting it not to a HMO. It was like lost in the translation. The HMO is gone now. We are converting it to 3 individual flats, let out on 3 individual AST contracts with 3 different gas meters. Actually, we got rid of gas, it's just electric. With 3 electric meters, with 3 water meters, 3 council tax bills. Everything is individual for each of these flats. And now we ended up with having 1 leasehold for 3 different flats. And our valuation has happened like last week. We are at the refinance stage with Mosley, and the valuer, a very nice smiley lady, she came over, she had a chat with me, she had a chat with my contractors. She was amazing to speak with. And then she came back to her office and said, okay, well done on the conversion, it looks amazing. The value of your project is fucking 0.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, that's what she said. She put a 0 next to the value of the completed like GDV of 3 high-end flats in a highly sought, popular, quite posh, beautiful area. That's what she's done, and she has recommended to the lender not to lend us money because of that leasehold situation mostly, where she said if a lender needs to sell one of the flats, it's pretty much impossible because you would need to split the leasehold into 3 separate leaseholds before you sell, and that takes time, and then the demand for flats in the area is non-existent. I don't agree with that either. There are no flats for sale because everyone that holds a property in this area doesn't want to sell. It appreciates so fast and it's so popular. It's insane to sell properties there, so it was stupid valuation. So we have to do it again with a different bank, with a different valuer, and now because of that leasehold situation, instead of paying 1.3k mortgage a month, we will be paying 1.5k mortgage a month. All the other terms are pretty much the same, so we are losing £200 from the bottom line, and that's a lot, and that's pissing me off. So be careful with that. Now the lesson learned is?
Be prepared from the very beginning. Know what you need, the unit you've purchased, what you need it for, basically, right? Because we didn't know. We were like, oh, can we do this,
flats,
can we do that? We kept changing our... Well, actually, we were checking with the architect as well.
Yeah.
We had an initial idea. It didn't work out. So actually, it wasn't our fault, right?
Yeah, kind of was.
So we thought it would be a good idea to do a HMO. It wasn't. So yeah, if you buy the property, just know what you need it for, what's the best use for it, and then go from there.
100%.
Maybe talk to the lenders even at the same time, right? Because you can always consult
Of course
the
you can.
lender.
So you wouldn't talk to the lender. Have a
Sorry,
great mortgage broker.
the broker
okay, or
meant,
the
yeah.
property financial advisor. So they like fancy names.
Yeah.
We actually have 2 people now in our team.
And another lesson learned, whatever you do, obviously, you know, at the end you have to refinance. Find an amazing, what were they called?
Broker.
A broker
Yeah.
who can help you with that and who can guide you through. We found that for us, the broker is so invaluable,
Yeah,
right?
and very much involved, and they
It's so
spend
good.
tons of time like trying
Yeah.
to push it forward. They have, they're remunerated or
They've
whatever it's called.
changed
They're paid.
direction of our projects often because
Oh,
we
yeah.
knew we won't be able to get as much money on the refinance.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the good
We
one.
have 2. First one is Ben Murphy from BM Finance, absolute fucking legend. So recommend highly. He's busy, but yeah, he can take on a few more. And another one is Neil Denman from NM Finance.
Really good, yeah.
They are both amazing. Okay, so recommend them very, very highly. Alrighty, another
Yeah.
fuck up.
Yeah, another one. Don't save money on cheap fixtures, right? Just buy quality things. It's going to save you money long term, and we've done it. And it's just going to give you a headache, right? Fixing things, paying for emergency contractors.
Yeah, so our first buy-to-let property, we had a fantastic Polish contractor in the UK, and we concluded that we will go for the cheapest kitchen, the cheapest everything, cheapest tiles. It looks alright for the first year, but then after the tenancy change, we had to change the toilet, we had to change the tap, the
Buy
bath.
a new sofa as well.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about
Fixture,
the
sorry.
27 Stony,
Yeah.
like just the buy-to-let
Okay.
for now, like, you know, for the renovation. It doesn't make any sense, okay? Like the cheap glues, it starts to like fall off the walls, the tiles. No, don't do that. Buy the most expensive glue, very good, like good enough tiles, not the cheapest shit, like the proper ones, like not the most expensive ones as well, but the, you know, proper ones. When it comes to fixtures, we would only go for like Germans now, so Grohe and Geberit fixtures, fittings, toilets, showers, taps, basins. It must be great reputable brand, because like what happens if it's not? We're going for some cheap ass Victoria Plumbing shitty black fittings. They looked great on pictures, but then you start like scrubbing them, because if you want to get rid of the lime scale and you scrub it together with the black paint, for example, it looks terrible. Then you have showers, they develop the lime scale to the point where it's impossible to even clean anymore. And then you have shower screens, like a cheap 6mm flimsy, shitty shower screens, and then you take shower, and then it dries. The water dries on the screen, and it leaves the marks that are impossible to clean, and that just sucks, right? So I get it that it's very expensive. Like the difference between the cheap stuff and the proper stuff is a lot, like 300%. But then your tenants, they are so happy when they see a Grohe shower that never breaks, when you have a 9 or 12mm shower screen that never gets dirty even if you don't clean it, right? So you just need to do like
that's
silicone change.
cosmetics, but also financially, long term, it works for the better.
So much better. You change this cheap stuff every year, okay? If you want to maintain high-ish standards, so please do not. Okay. Another thing that we've skipped, I think, on the list was we both try to be too nice and accommodating for everyone. So trying to be friends with everyone doesn't always work, okay? So I make friends with all the people that I work with, typically, and so I'm a good cop. Typically, Maggie is a bad cop, and typically
I'm the professional
typically she's right.
with commercial reasoning behind my back. So that sometimes can come across as being a bit cold,
Being a bitch,
maybe.
yeah.
But for me, it's just so normal. The business is business. Obviously,
for me it's not. For
we
me, natural is being
we all
nice
need to
with
be very
everyone. Yeah.
kind to each other. That is true.
Yeah,
But
but
you're
I like.
very friendly.
I am very friendly. Like, look what it got me. So I'm super friendly with my contractors. Like, we smoke a cigarette together, even though I don't smoke. We drink some beer on site, even we shouldn't be drinking beer on site. But it's like, you know, we have great relationship going on, and they feel that they can take advantage of this relationship and just, you know, get away with the delays and problems like that. If it was just like a professional relationship, it probably shouldn't or wouldn't have
You
happened.
kind of need to find a balance, right?
Yeah, well, our
they
neighbours-
need to like you to do a good job as well.
Yep.
So kind of balance that out.
True. First thing we've done when we purchased the office, I went around the neighbours to say hello. I'm Mark. I run a small development business with just me and my wife. We are not a big bad developers trying to take all of your assets. We're just like converting an unused office that sat empty for like a few years,
Yeah.
converting it to beautiful residential use.
And we did
to-
say, we did say we are not going to get a lot of people squeezed into the room.
Let me introduce HMO.
No, we're friendly.
Yeah. But then, like, let's say we discovered the trespassing pipe for our property from the neighbor upstairs. It was the pipe going down. That was the pipe from the boiler that was getting rid of the excess water. I don't even know what this pipe is called, but it was like connected to the main pipe stack. Pipe stack was broken by that neighbor. Like, it was incorrectly installed.
But it was trespassing, and we knew that. It was officially told. We were told officially by
building regulations.
By building regulations, and we were advised formally on a piece of paper to get rid of it.
Just cut it. We didn't even have to like ask nicely. Can we cut it? Can we arrange for a good time? Would you like to contribute financially? We could have just like cut it, capped it, and then the lady upstairs, her boiler would break over the winter. She would have to.
But you were not so nice. You ask her.
She would have to disassemble her fucking kitchen, like get rid of her skirting, drill into her wall to put this pipe in her apartment, probably get rid of tiles in the bathroom where the pipe stack is. So that would have become a major pain in the ass for her.
Yeah.
So I've offered, okay, I will do it for you using my team. I've got nice plumbers. They're very reasonably priced. I already have like a piece of stuff from my architect, my quantity surveyors. They've seen like all of this. We'll need that pipe. We'll need that fucking 90 degrees angle. I showed it to her.
You just pay for it, right?
Yeah, and she was like super slow to respond, super slow. So I've just done it. Okay, so I accommodated her pipe in my false ceiling. So I shouldn't be doing that.
And you paid for it.
And I paid for it, and I said, okay, you know what, Sally, please just like contribute £200 towards it. Let's split it like 50-50 because it cost me like 400. And she said, no, your problem, your development. I'm not paying for it. Okay, fuck off. So I was too nice. I should have just cut it, save time, save money, and move on with my life. We had another situation with a freeholder, with LCP. So they don't like us too much. I don't know why. So they side with the neighbors. We are hated in the development. I don't know why. So we're not doing anything dodgy. We're creating beautiful space that will reinvigorate the neighborhood. It's great. It's great fit for the space. And we are really not like money sharks. We are good people creating nice, high quality assets. And they don't like us, neighbors and the freeholder. And now they had a fire alarm problem in the building. And since I was always nice to the freeholder, they said, okay, since you are doing a development, it's your fault. So you're being billed like £1,000, like £900 or 800 something. We'll add it to your service charge invoice. I said, like, why the fuck would you add it to my service charge invoice? Like, they had an electrician coming over to check the fault with the fire alarm. Their electrician had a chat with my contractors. My contractors are extremely good, technically extremely good. They both had a chat together. They concluded it wasn't us, and they still tried to put this cost on us because they were not aware of the.
So what happened in the end? You basically pushed back, right?
Yeah, I just told them that I'm not paying for it unless
they've gone quiet.
Yeah, unless they can prove that it was me. Okay, cool.
Right. Another one. We've switched careers 180 degrees.
Oh yeah, both of us.
Right. Was it a good choice or not?
Good and a bad one. So I think the career choice is very important early in your life. So if you choose something that requires trading your time for money, you're already in a lost position because you will always have an earning cap. You will always have a boss. It's like depends. Like it suits some people. Some people they just want to get to work at 8, go home at 4, right? Like be able to collect kids from their school after work. Don't think about it. Turn off their phone.
But the lesson learned here is just stay focused in whatever you're doing. Don't change your mind every year. That's what we did.
We've done it once. We've changed our mind once. So you were doing taxes, I was doing Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you did Wi-Fi Ninjas. Mac had an amazing podcast. You were just on the top.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you got headhunted and you didn't listen to your wife.
I didn't.
At the time.
Yeah, you're right. You said do not join that company, not because of the company was bad. The company was very good.
I said,
it's amazing.
well, it's a really good idea because
since you have your gig going, and we are getting stronger with every passing week, more and more contracts. We are getting £2,000 a day for consultancy. Plus, we started writing courses that would be making us money.
So anyway, so he ended up being a director, a marketing director with an amazing salary.
Yeah.
And that job, what happened? It started eating you alive. Pretty much.
Demanding position,
Very
a lot of money.
demanding.
So it's a serious job, right? And we're not able to do it anymore.
So that's why we jumped into properties. But in the meantime, we've had different ideas. We kind of started different podcasts, haven't we? Like the one with fitness.
Yeah.
We did have different ideas, but the point is just choose what you want to do and stay focused on it long enough to see the results.
Longer than other people.
Exactly, and that's the big lesson learned from us. Look, we are 40. And I guess it's never too late. It's never too late, right?
It is.
Because by the time we're 50, I expect we are in a good position and we are going to achieve what we want, which is a good cash flow and a flexibility in our life in terms of work and working hours.
Yeah, you can retire in 2 years if you want to.
Exactly.
If you're happy with having like 200k.
But if you want to achieve that
a
quicker,
year.
just stay focused on what you do and just don't change your mind too often, because there's just too much
That's what happens
effort.
with most people in the world. They start something, there is no immediate success, and they move on to something else. And by doing that, you will never achieve success. Okay, so it's only reserved for people that are persistent
For
little
years,
cunts.
not
Yeah,
for just a few
exactly.
months. Okay. Yes. The next one. We've stayed in the UK for too long.
Oh my God, yeah, that's a controversial one. So,
Very.
yeah, when we moved to the UK, what do you feel, Maggie, about the market for entrepreneurs?
I feel it was
Business
very
owners.
pro business owners, and the tax. Obviously, the government keeps changing, but the tax rates were a lot lower, because obviously I worked at the time in tax, and honestly the capital gains tax rates changed, the national insurance rates changed.
Yeah.
Everything has gone up significantly.
Is that a rant?
Not really, no. It wasn't meant to be a rant, but the point is the current market is not in favour of the business owners, and then some other rules changed.
Now, who creates the fucking working positions for every other person that is not a
Yeah.
business owner? Where do they work if you don't have business owners, if you don't encourage them to build their businesses? What do other people do? Where does government have money from? Who generates that revenue for the country?
Yeah. It's all traders. Well, not
Yeah.
all traders, but also the big companies. So I don't know if you guys know, but if I've noticed that a lot of the sort of medium, small companies with a certain, 50 employees or less, they now converting they ask employees to go
Contracting.
self-employed,
Yeah.
because the employers' national insurance rates change so much, it's not worth it. I mean, the amount of taxes the big employers and small employers need to pay,
And
it's just not.
minimum wages as well. And then you have an employee, you pay fuckloads of money for NI. You pay fuckloads of money for the holidays, sick
Yeah, all the
leaves.
benefits, and on top of that, the national insurance is just hits. Your
it is
bottom
a
line
rant.
it is a little bit of a rant, but the things changed. The domicile status changed. The big corporations moved out as well. I'm not going to go into the detail, but that's again a few months ago. That's changed. Huge companies, honestly, they physically moved out of the UK to avoid taxes, because there would be tax on the worldwide income for them, right?
Yeah, so we are
So
immigrants,
as soon as
right?
you're a resident
Yeah,
here.
but we are immigrants, not from the UK originally. So with Brexit, we were pretty much voted out of the country. So that was the first thing when I felt it's what the fuck am I doing here? It's people, they don't want immigrants in the UK, not in London perhaps, but everywhere else is probably the case. And then that's what I feel.
Really?
Yeah, and then we've decided to stay in the UK and start building a business, because it was easier and more supported when compared to, I don't know,
Correct.
Poland
More friendly.
or Italy or anywhere else that we liked to
Yeah.
live in, right? So we liked
Correct.
Italy, a lot.
Yeah,
Why are you pointing at your
because it's
watch?
nearly 1 o'clock.
Well, still early. Good time to open a beer, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was the rant on point number 12.
Yeah.
Moving on
So
to the next one.
what's the lesson learned there?
Lesson learned there. Go wherever you want. You can build wherever you want. So if I could have turned back the hands of time, I would have moved to Italy. You?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, because then the kids grow, and then they don't want to sort of move out, because they've got their friends and their network.
Business
and
building there
everything.
was difficult, but now business building in the UK is
It's
as
also
difficult.
difficult.
So it doesn't matter.
So there always be challenges in every countries. In
Yeah.
every country, I mean. So.
But now you don't have the weather, you don't have the support of the government.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing there? Okay, cool. Anyway, Number 13 on our list, the problem was the VAT with contractors. I think we've touched up on it a little bit.
Yes, not in the detail. So basically, the lesson learned for us was we've received a working scope from our contractors with the total that the whole renovation is going to be. They didn't include the VAT, and the reason what we thought, because their previous project didn't include VAT, they were not registered to VAT, and that's what they told us. So we kept we continued our assumption on the basis that they're still not registered. They did register in the meantime. They didn't tell us about this, and the actual proposed cost excluded VAT. So the lesson learned: always check, even if you work with the same contractors, on the VAT status, because that changes your total renovation cost, sometimes by 20% or 5%, depending on your eligibility, but that's still a lot.
Yep, that is true. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. And the last point from me, I married Maggie. That was a mistake. I wish I was gay.
Would you really? There is always time. We're very open-minded.
And on that positive note, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you
Thanks
back
for staying with us.
in 2 weeks' time. Listen to us, watch us on YouTube, all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, everywhere, and our website, zenproperties.uk.
Thank you for joining.
Love you.
Take care.
Bye.